Sunday morning, 9:03 a.m. The white roses have already been arranged. Sunlight filters through the glass dome of the Whitman Estate atrium, casting golden ribbons across the rows of ivory chairs. The florist is adjusting the arch. The string quartet is rehearsing. The guests will arrive in 3 hours, and in the dressing room near the back garden, Samantha Blake is pacing barefoot, her dress unzipped, her chest aching with something that isn't quite fear, but isn't far from it. She presses her phone against her ear. Please pick up. Please, God, pick up. No answer. She looks down at the red folder in her hand, the one marked Private, Hold for Legal Counsel. Inside are 3 things: a photograph, a bank routing form, and a copy of a death certificate 48 hours earlier, Friday evening. Her mother, Meredith, twirled in the kitchen, wearing a silk robe and holding a glass of white wine. 2 more days and I'll be Mrs. Whitman. Can you believe it? Samantha gave her a crooked smile. Yeah, totally wild. You're going to have a whole new life, Sam. A real home, a real future. Meredith looked radiant. Software, full of hope, and Samantha hated that she had to destroy it. 6 weeks ago, the beginning of suspicion. The first time Sam doubted Charles Whitman was when he forgot her name. They were at a dinner party in the city, one of those high-rise penthouse events with shrimp towers and string lights. He introduced her to a client as Sasha, then laughed it off. Brains fried. Too many contracts this week. Sam smiled, but she remembered something her father used to say before he died. When rich men forget names, it's never their memory. It's their lies slipping out. Present day, 9:17 a. Back in the bridal suite, Sam slides the folder under her dress bag and walks into the hallway. No one notices her. Not yet, but she's running out of time. Flashback. 3 days ago, Sam was sitting in Charles's study waiting for her mother to come down when she heard it. A name. Not hers. Not Meredith's. Just one word, whispered into the phone. Soleil. French? A person? She leaned in from behind the wall. No, she doesn't know. It's all going fine. Her daughter's just poking around. Silence. Then a different voice. Female in the background. Faint but sharp. Handle it. Click. She never asked who Soleil was. Not out loud, but she searched. And that's when everything fell apart. What she found. Soleil Whitman, age 42. Presumed deceased 2019. Listed as Charles's ex-wife, body never recovered, autopsy filed but incomplete, last known address. Same estate they're living in now. And a photo. Soleil smiling next to Charles in the same ballroom they're hosting the wedding. She was wearing the exact same earrings Meredith plans to wear. Friday night, Sam's room. She prints the photo, pulls the bank form, and finds a transfer of $1.2 million dated 3 days from now. Prenuptial payout upon confirmed death of spouse. Her hands go cold. She reads the name of the payee, Soleil Whitman. Alive? Back to the present, 10:10 a.m. Sam walks outside to find the wedding coordinator. Where's Charles? In the lounge with the groomsmen, I think. Sam nods, but doesn't go there. She slips behind the hedge, pulls out her phone, and dials a name she hasn't used since she was 13. Detective Grant? It's Sam Blake. I need you at the Whitman estate, now. 11:55 a.m. The ceremony begins. The violinists start playing. Guests rise. Charles walks to the altar, beaming, his navy suit immaculate, his smile just wide enough to convince everyone but Sam. The guests turn. Meredith appears, glowing in her lace gown. She takes one step forward, and Sam bolts down the aisle. "Stop the wedding!" gasps. Cameras, whispers. Charles freezes. Meredith turns, confused. "Sam, what are you doing?" "He's not who you think he is." She holds up the folder. "Your fiance's wife? She's not dead, and he's about to cash out on yours." Sunday, 12:01 p.m. Silence blankets the garden like fog. The guests are frozen mid-breath. Meredith stands halfway down the aisle, veil fluttering. Charles's face doesn't crack, not yet. "Sam, what are you talking about?" Meredith asks, stunned. Sam walks straight up the aisle, folder raised like a weapon. "He lied to you about everything. His name, his money, even his last marriage. You're ruining your mother's wedding," Charles says, his voice calm but razor sharp. "No," Sam snaps. I'm saving her life. 12:05 p.m. Inside the estate ballroom, security tries to usher Sam away, but Meredith waves them off. Let her speak. The guests are ushered into the ballroom for cocktails, confused murmurs following them. Meredith, Charles, and Sam remain at the altar. Sam hands her mother the photo. This is Soleil, Charles's wife. She was declared dead, except she isn't. Her name's on an active bank account, and he scheduled a $1.2 million wire transfer for 3 days from now. Charles laughs softly. You went through my private papers? Number your trash. That shuts him up. 12:09 p.m. A new arrival. A black unmarked car pulls up the driveway. Detective Grant steps out, tall, gray-suited, and calm under pressure. He approaches the altar as if walking into a crime scene. I got your call, Sam. Meredith blinks. You called the police? He's been under investigation, Grant says. But we never had enough to move. Now we do. Charles's eyes narrow. You think I'm going to let this circus smear my name? You already did, Grant replies. Years ago. We just didn't know your new identity. 12:20 p.m. In the study. Inside the estate, away from the guests, Charles finally drops the performance. You have no idea what you've done. He's talking to Sam. You're a spoiled, paranoid little girl who just destroyed your mother's future. Meredith turns on him. Did you fake your wife's death? He doesn't answer, which says everything. Grant places a folder on the table. We reopened the Soleil Whitman case. Because her body was never recovered, her legal death was processed through your offshore lawyer, who also signed your marriage prenup with Meredith. Charles sneers. Soleil's gone. She ran. I let the world believe she died because it was easier than telling people I married a thief. You just described yourself, Sam says. Flashback. 2 years earlier, France. Soleil Whitman walks into a quiet seaside notary's office under a different name. She hands over a passport. It's fake. The notary nods. Your husband? He asks. He's not looking, she replies. Yet. Back to present. Whitman Estate. Grant's phone buzzes. He steps aside, returns a moment later, expression tight. Interpol just pinged Soleil's bank account. She's active. She made a transfer out of Nice, France. This morning. Charles's jaw tightens. She was supposed to stay gone. Meredith's breakdown. She sits down hard, veil sliding off her hair. I was going to marry you. I let you raise my daughter. Charles steps toward her. I loved you. No, Meredith says. You loved what I reminded you of. A woman you couldn't control, so you replaced her. Sam steps, and she sits beside her mother. We don't need him. You didn't need him before. You sure don't need him now. Meredith finally nods. For the first time in years, she sees her daughter not as a reminder of the past, but as the reason she still has a future. Charles is escorted out. He doesn't resist, but just before stepping outside, he turns to Sam. You think this is over? She steps closer. Number, I think it's just your beginning. Sunday night, 11:46 p.m. The Whitman estate is quiet now. The guests are gone. The flowers are dying on the arch, and Meredith is sitting at the edge of her bed, still in her gown, staring into nothing. Sam knocks softly. I made tea. Meredith looks up. Her mascara is smudged, her veil abandoned on the nightstand. You knew for how long? She asks. A few weeks. I wanted to be wrong. Meredith nods slowly. You weren't. Elsewhere. Nice. France. A woman with auburn hair and dark sunglasses walks into a hotel room. She drops her purse on the bed, opens her laptop, logs into a secure account. Her name flashes on the screen. Soleil Whitman. She stares at a news headline. Wedding crashed as bride-to-be discovers fiancé's dead wife still alive. A slow smile spreads across her face. Took them long enough. Monday morning, Whitman Estate. Detective Grant returns with new files. He lays them out on the kitchen counter for Meredith and Sam. This isn't just about Charles, he says. There are others. Others? Meredith asks. There are records of 2 other women he was involved with under different names. One died, one vanished, and both had life insurance policies, paid into an offshore account, same one that Soleil's activity pinged. Sam leans forward. Soleil was in on it? Maybe. Or maybe she ran when she figured out what he was planning. Meredith's hands shake. You think he was going to kill me? Grant doesn't answer. Flashback, 2018. Vermont Soleil stands in a snow-covered cabin kitchen. Charles is shouting off screen. You don't leave, Soleil. You hear me? She grips a phone in one hand. a passport in the other. She whispers, "Watch me." Then the screen fades to black. Monday afternoon, local coffee shop. Sam sits with Grant, her laptop open. "I've been messaging Soleil anonymously," she says. "You're in contact?" "Sort of. She knows I'm Meredith's daughter. I think she's watching everything." "You sure that's safe?" "Number. But I think she's scared too." Soleil's message arrives. "Tell your mother I'm sorry. I didn't fake my death, Charles did, and he was going to do it again." Later, Meredith's apartment, old one. They return to the small one-bedroom they used to live in before Charles. Meredith runs her hand along the chipped counter, the dusty family photos still on the shelf. "This place used to feel like failure." "It wasn't," Sam says. "It was ours." Charles's last move. That night, Grant calls with an update. Charles posted bail. Sam sits up. "What? He's on a private jet registry to the Caribbean. You have to stop him." "We will. But if he gets away, we'll need a witness with teeth." Sam takes a deep breath. "We already have one." Tuesday, 7:12 a.m. Sam sits on the floor of her old bedroom, flipping through a leather-bound journal left behind by Charles. She doesn't know why he kept it. Maybe ego, maybe arrogance. Inside, she finds coded entries. Each one is dated. Each one ends with a name. See Montreal, dinner confirmed. Payout, $200,000. Evelyn, Florence, French passport processed. Soleil, rehearsal dinner, South Hills. Meredith, 10:21 a.m. Cafe near JFK International Airport. Soleil wears a hoodie and sunglasses. She sips espresso slowly, waiting. A chair slides out across from her. Sam sits. They don't speak for a moment. Then, "You're her," Sam says. Soleil nods. "And you're the reason I came back." Flashback, 2019. Charles screams at Soleil in their estate's kitchen. "You ruined the deal. Do you know how much I'm losing?" Soleil holds a shattered phone. "You drugged her, Charles. I saw the pills." He grabs her arm. She yanks away, runs. Back to present. Soleil places a flash drive on the table. Everything, the money, the contacts, the shell companies. "Why now?" Sam asks. "Because I never wanted anyone else to become me." Sam nods. "We have to trap him before he disappears for good." The setup begins. Meredith, Sam, and Soleil sit in the apartment planning. Soleil will message Charles from an encrypted account. She'll pretend she wants in on one last job. In person. Charles is greedy. He'll come. Grant agrees to stage the meet and wire the building. Wednesday, 4:33 p.m. Abandoned loft in Brooklyn. It's dusty, cold, quiet. Meredith hides in an upstairs viewing room. Grant waits outside in an unmarked SUV with two marshals. Sam sits near the stairwell, listening through her mic. And then, footsteps. Charles enters, alone. "Soleil," he says, "you actually showed." She steps from the shadows. "One last job, just like old times." He smiles. "You always had style." They embrace. "You brought the files?" "I did." "Good girl." She steps back. "But there's a twist." "What's that?" "You're not the only one who came." Grant steps in. Two marshals behind him. Charles tries to run. He doesn't make it 3 feet. Thursday, the final arrest. At a live press conference, Charles Whitman is booked under multiple aliases. Charges include fraud, attempted murder, conspiracy, identity theft, international racketeering. Later that night, Meredith's apartment. Meredith sits with Sam and Soleil. They're quiet, at peace. "You saved me," Meredith says to her daughter. Sam smiles. Friday, 10:03 a.m. Charles Whitman is in custody, but this isn't over. Detective Grant stands at Meredith's kitchen table, a fresh envelope in his hand. This just came in from the DA's office. His legal team filed a motion. "For what?" Sam asks. "To suppress the evidence. They're claiming the wire recordings were entrapment." Meredith leans back. "Are you serious?" "Welcome to white-collar crime. With his money, he could walk." Sam grabs the flash drive from the table. "Not if we bury him in truth." Later, Soleil's hotel room. Soleil opens her laptop and plays an audio file for Meredith and Sam. Charles speaking French. "We don't kill them. We corner them until they break." Sam looks at her. "You recorded that?" "In Paris, the night before I disappeared." She hesitates, then hands Meredith a small envelope. "I wasn't going to show you this, but you deserve to know." Inside the envelope, a hospital record, a photo of an ultrasound. "I was pregnant when I ran," Soleil says quietly. Meredith stares. "Charles didn't just try to kill me. He tried to erase me, all of me." Tears run down her cheeks. Sam places a hand on her shoulder. You didn't let him. Meanwhile, Charles is holding cell. His lawyer leans in. They have your voice, the files, the offshore logs. Charles smirks. They have stories. I have lawyers. And if this goes federal? He shrugs. Then I marry the system too. Saturday. Surprise court motion grant calls. They're trying to get bail. What? Sam yells. And they might win. His legal team is arguing the wedding was emotional coercion and that Meredith had motives to frame him. We need to get ahead of this. How? By making the world listen. Sunday. Viral bombshell. Janelle Briggs' investigative reporter releases a 12-minute documentary called The Man Who Married for Murder, The Charles Whitman Story. Within 48 hours, 3.1 million views. National news pickup protests outside the courthouse. A full congressional inquiry is requested, and suddenly, bail is denied. Sunday evening, quiet apartment scene. Sam watches Meredith read a book by the window. Soleil, seated nearby, is flipping through old photos of herself before everything happened. What do we do now? Sam asks. Meredith closes the book. We start over, the three of us. Monday, 9 a.m., Federal Court, Manhattan. The courthouse is buzzing. Protesters line the sidewalk. Reporters crowd the steps. Inside, it's standing room only. United States vs. Charles Whitman. Charges: international fraud conspiracy to commit identity theft, attempted murder, financial exploitation, false death documentation. At the defense table, Charles wears a navy suit and a smirk. At the back of the courtroom, Sam, Meredith, and Soleil sit together. The three women who pulled the curtain down. Testimony. Day 1. Detective Grant. He walks the jury through the investigation. It was the daughter, Samantha Blake, who brought this case to light. Without her, we may never have found the links. Testimony. Day 2. Sam Blake. She takes the stand. Her voice trembles only once when she says, "He didn't just try to scam my mother. He tried to erase her, like he tried to erase the others. And if we hadn't stopped the wedding, I don't know if she'd be alive right now." Charles's attorney tries to shake her. "Weren't you biased from the start?" "Yeah," Sam replies. "I'm biased toward the truth." Testimony. Day 3. Soleil Whitman. She's calm, confident, focused. She tells the jury how Charles staged her disappearance. "He told me it would be cleaner if I just left, that he'd make sure no one came looking, and I believed him. For too long." She holds up the ultrasound photo. "I lost this child running from him, and I carry that pain every day." Gasps. One juror wipes away a tear. Closing arguments. The prosecution ends with a single photo. Meredith, on her wedding day, looking terrified as Sam holds the folder. This man weaponized love. He weaponized marriage. He turned trust into a financial trap. Don't let him walk out of here and do it again. Jury deliberation. 5 hours later. The courtroom is tense. Then, the door opens. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty on all counts. Charles exhales, but it's shallow. His charm didn't save him. He's remanded to custody. Sentencing set for 60 days. Maximum exposure, life. After the verdict, outside court cameras flash. Microphones crowd. Sam stands beside Meredith and Soleil. She says one thing: we weren't his victims. We were his ending. 3 weeks later, Meredith's apartment boxes are stacked near the door. Not for moving, for giving away. Meredith sits at the kitchen table with a blank journal in front of her. For the first time in years, she's not planning around a man. She's planning for herself. Sam walks in holding coffee. "You writing again?" Meredith nods. "I think it's time I start my story, not someone else's." Elsewhere, Soleil's new apartment. She's painting. A canvas leans against the wall. Vibrant swirls, bold brushstrokes. She turns to see Sam at the door, holding an envelope. "You left this at my place." Soleil opens it. It's the original ultrasound. She places it gently on a shelf. "Thank you," she whispers. "You ever think about going public?" Sam asks. "No," she says. "I already spoke loud enough in court. Now I want to live quietly, but truthfully." Later, interview with Janelle, Sam's first public appearance. The video goes viral within 48 hours. "I wasn't trying to be brave," Sam says into the camera. "I was just trying to protect my mom. We were normal until we weren't, and that's how predators hide." Inside normal. Flashback. Sam, age 10. She's sitting on her father's lap watching her mom dance in the kitchen. When you get older, he says, you make sure nobody rewrites her. Who? Sam asks. Your mom. She's already enough. Saturday, dedication ceremony. A new nonprofit is launching downtown, the Blake Whitman Foundation for Survivors of Romantic Financial Abuse. Meredith stands at the podium, Sam and Soleil beside her. I thought love meant safety. Now I know it also means choice, and today we choose ourselves. Applause. Reporters flash. For once, no one runs from the light. Meanwhile, Federal Prison Intake Center. Charles Whitman steps into a concrete cell. No mirror, no window, no applause, just silence, and no one left to con. 1 year later, South Hills, Connecticut. The Whitman estate has a new name. The sign at the gate reads, The Blake House, Center for Rebuilding Women's Lives. Where there was once a wedding arch, there's now a rose garden. Where there were secrets, there are now support groups, child care sessions, healing. And on a bench near the garden path, Sam Blake sits beside a young woman holding a child. You're not broken, Sam says. You're rebuilding, and no one gets to tell you how long that takes. The woman wipes her eyes. You were really just a kid when it happened? Yeah, but the truth doesn't care how old you are. When it knocks, you either open the door or someone else gets hurt. Meanwhile, Meredith's memoir launch. In a small bookstore, Meredith signs her first copy of her memoir, I Almost Married a Murderer, and What It Taught Me About Loving Myself. The line is out the door. She sees women in every stage of life, some with scars, some with stories, all with strength. She writes a note in one of the books, to the girl still trying to leave. You already did the day you stopped lying to yourself. Elsewhere, Soleil. She now lives on a coast far away. She paints, she gardens. She never remarried, but she sends Sam a photo every few weeks, usually of a flower or a sunset. Last week's came with a note. For the record, I was scared, but watching you were the bravest girl I never got to be. Final scene, Sam's graduation. She steps across the stage, diploma in hand. Her mother cheers, her friends scream. The MC reads her degree, Samantha Blake, criminology and victim advocacy. She smiles, because now she doesn't just speak for herself. She speaks for the ones still silenced.